Hey, what's up guys? Andy here, and today we're reviewing over Fairy Tail episode 302 titled The Third Seal. Now, just to start things off, this episode is one of my favorite episodes of Fairy Tail to date. I love the fight with Bloodman and GAJEEL and Levy, kinda. Had a few funny scenes in it. Yukino slapping the piss out of Sting was really cool, and Irene is gonna try to go against the plan to take on Acnologia by herself. I don't know how that's gonna work, but you do you, boo. The Scarlet Despair or the Scarlet Maiden, whatever you want to call yourself, go for it. But the big point of this episode I want to talk about is how cool the whole fucking Bloodman thing was, and I'll fangirl out about that in a little while. But for now, let's just discuss, this episode in the whole and get into it and everything. And I do want to say sorry if you can hear the wind or anything in the background. It's raining pretty hard here. Not counting my nose is completely stopped up and my throat is scratchy, so you're probably going to hear that and a lot more pauses than normal, because I can't really talk without my voice going out, so I'm probably gonna have to do a couple cuts in here. But other than that, my brother's over watching the basketball games with my dad, so you're probably gonna hear that at time to time when something happens, because they're moronic about it. But let's get into this review without further delay. Let's jump right on in.
Back from the dead.
We start things off with Natsu, Lucy, Happy, and Brandish heading to meet up with August to try to do, the whole deal. As they're walking, Natsu just kind of out of nowhere says, "Hey, Mest, we know you're following us." And he's like, "Huh, how did you know? I can't believe you trust this girl, Natsu." And he's like, "I wish I could see into your head," which it was a pretty funny scene, but then again, it was kind of unneeded, because I kind of wanted this one to be serious, but this was the most funny. Because Brandish is like, "I'm not walking," or doesn't want to walk anymore, because you know how she is, so she makes Happy huge to carry all of them. We cut into our intro here, and then we go over to Kana and Mavis, which this is the only scene they got. She's like, "Try to destroy me with all your might. You need to, destroy me." It's, one of those things. In between this scene, though, we got the title card, which is titled The Third Seal. We'll discuss all of that shortly, because I feel like next episode is going to be legitimate nut-sacking if they actually go through with it full force. But Mavis tells Kana that she's a lot like Zara, and then she has this picture in her head, which was pretty funny. And she's like, "No, you're not like her. But if she was still here, you gotta save her and me. So you gotta, destroy this projection in front of you so we can be free." So we jump over to Sting going through a mental distress, he's bad off, and Rogue's like, "How long are you gonna stay like this?" And he's like, "This is all my fault, it's because I'm a screw-up." And that's when Yukino comes over and slaps the utter piss out of him and says, "You're our leader. You're supposed to be our morale boost when things like this happen." And he's like, "You know what, you're right. I'm sorry, Yukino, your hand must have hurt. But us tigers, we're still hungry." And that scene is amazing. They start going out and kicking ass, and then all of a sudden Bloodman comes, and all these people are running from him. And that's when GAJEEL pierces him to a tree, and he's like, "How's it feel to be crucified? It just brings back bad memories for me, so let's get this over with." And it was like, holy shit! And that's when he turns into Bane particles and runs up and grabs GAJEEL, and he says, "You have just touched death." And he's like, "Good, I've been looking for a place to die." And I was just like, dude, that's edgy as shit. We get over to Irene, and she's talking about how our third guest will arrive soon. And at first I was like, it's got to be Acnologia to take out the Dragon Slayers here, because there's 3 of them here. But it wasn't. It's the Oración Seis, and now there's 4 Dragon Slayers here, and my boy Midnight. Yeah, can't wait to see him back in action, and Cobra to be, blunt. Other than that, we cut back over here, and she's like, "There's a 4th, there's still more." And this is where I was like, yep, it's Acnologia, this has to be, because she says, It's neither friend nor foe. And that's when I was like, yep, Acnologia. Cutting back to Natsu and them, they get another, funny scene here to where she makes his head bigger. And she's like, he's like, he wanted it. And she's like, it's freaky. And then, Hero had to do this. Brandish starts playing with her boobs. And she's like, quit playing with other people's bodies. And she's like, you're especially fun to play with. And Natsu's like, you're right. We cut back over to Irene, who has decided she's going to take on Acnologia by herself. So she starts prepping the world. I don't know how it's going to work for her. I don't think she can do it, but whatever. Cutting back over to the actual Gucci-ness of this fight. I'm sorry, I'll never say that again. GAJEEL is fighting Bloodman. And he says, I'm the guide to the underworld. And as soon as he's about to get hit, Levy jumps in and uses her solid script to kind of repel the attack, which is holy magic, so it kind of blocks it a little bit. Even though he's much stronger, I'm sure he could just, take her out. But she's wearing a mask, so the Bane particles won't get to her. We'll talk about that in a minute, because I was like, that makes no sense to me, but okay. And, we cut over back to August in between this fight, and August is like, we dedicated our lives to our emperor. If you can't comprehend his plan, then you're an enemy. So he's not on board. But then we cut immediately back over to Bloodman, who says, with the third seal, the god of death passes judgment upon your lives. And I was just like, oh shit, it's about to go down. And that's when they find out this guy can use all of the Tartaros curses plus another curse to where he can shoot up this spiral, and he shoots him up and he hits him, and it's a vortex that drags them to hell, I would assume, but they survived. And Levy tells him the mask never protected me anyway. It absorbs through the body. I just wanted to save you. And that's when we get this last scene of him, hovering over her seemingly lifeless body. Now, I don't want to spoil anything, but this is a really emotional scene, good shit, Hero, and the animation team who made this. I enjoyed this episode very, very much. Probably because GAJEEL and Levy are two of my favorite characters. I love the Oración Seis. I love Sting and Rogue. Yukino is a cool character, and especially what she did, she gets more props to me. Irene is mysterious, and she's going to be taking on the strongest character in this world. We had a few little cut, kind of funny things along the way. And Kana is still, making a huge relevancy in the story by being the one who Mavis wants to destroy her to bring this plan to fruition. So I'm invested. I'm morally invested. Anyway, though, gang, this has been episode 302, titled The Third Seal of Fairy Tail, and that was my review. If you liked it, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll catch y'all next time. Peace out.
Take a moment right here, feeling like it's out gear, driving towards the sun with a rose and a gun. Feel the wind in my hair, going nowhere, I swear.